If you saw this video on your feed, then you're probably doing some sort of side hustle or want to start some sort of side hustle in the future. This is your sign to either start that side hustle or just go all in if you're currently doing a side hustle right now. I finally just started to go all in about 6 months ago, and the results have been insane. And I'm gonna break down the type of numbers that I saw before I started to go all in, and right now that I've actually just locked in and just been completely grinding it out. For those of you who are new to the channel, I flip iPhones on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, and I show you guys step by step what I do and how I do it. But this video is gonna be a little different because it can apply to all side hustles or any entrepreneur watching this. It doesn't revolve around just iPhones or flipping or anything. So a quick little backstory for me. I've been flipping phones for about 4 or 5 years now, and I was not doing it as seriously as I have been now. I was in school, I was working as a pizza delivery driver. So any free time I had, like whenever I felt like I was doing this, and I was making like $1,000 to $2,000, sometimes $3,000 a month, which is great. That's about 20 to 30 grand a year. And I took about a year break just because I was a little burnt out dealing with the headaches of scammers on Facebook, eBay, and just all the bullshit that goes along with any side hustle. And then 6 months ago, I just got a new job. I just graduated college, and I saw a video of someone flipping phones on YouTube, and I decided to watch it. And I thought, hey, why don't I just pick this up again? I'm looking for ways to make extra money. I was pretty good at this when I did it. I made decent money. So I was ready to give it another shot with a clean slate, no phones in my inventory, to start from scratch again. In the first 2 weeks of me doing this, I made $3,500 profit, which is insane because that beat my best month ever in just 2 weeks. And that was my best month for the first 4 years that I ever did this. So like I said before, when I was in school and I was working, I only did this when I had like a few spare hours. Nothing crazy at all. I still valued my relaxation time, like after a long day of work or school or something like that. And that's one thing that completely changed the game for me, and the amount of profit I brought in each month was just forgetting all relaxation time, all the distractions, because at the end of the day, I don't really need that. I don't need to be playing video games. I don't need to be scrolling on TikTok or YouTube all day, all night. That's something you earn when you have some downtime and you actually deserve it. So any normal person that would have a 9 to 5 and wanted to get some extra cash, they would just wait for the weekends or whenever they felt like it. But that wasn't the case for me because I work a 9 to 5, and as soon as it hits 5 and I'm out the door, I'm driving around for hours buying phones that I spent the whole day messaging people on Facebook about, planning meetups to buy them. And when it's the weekend, I'm driving for even more, sometimes all day long. And you know you're doing something right when 1, the amount of money you're bringing in is much more than it was before, and 2, people start to make comments about how crazy you are and how obsessed and you're doing a little too much. Like anytime I would tell people I'm going to buy a phone that's like an hour and a half away and I have to go drive there, they call me crazy. They said they would never do that in a million years, no matter how much they're making. But they don't understand that I'm making like $200 to $300 on that single flip because it's worth it for me. And I've also planned out my route where I'm going to pick up phones on the way there, on the way back. So I'm going to be making like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, maybe even $1,000 just for like 4 or 5 hours of driving. But people can't fathom doing that because they just had a full week of work and they're so exhausted, and the weekend is their time to relax and wind down. But that's just more free time for me to make more money. And that's what it takes to make it with a side hustle, because it's all in your time and your effort. It's whatever you put in is how much you're going to get out of it. And I'm living proof of that because I just turned the intensity up so much more than I did for the first few years of doing the side hustle. And like I said, I was bringing in like 1, 2, sometimes 3,000 a month. Now I bring in like 8, 9, 10, sometimes even $12,000 per month, and that's all profit. That's not revenue. Revenue is around like $50,000 to $60,000. That's all profit. So whatever your side hustle is, if it's flipping stuff, if it's making videos online, if it's editing, this is your sign to just go all in with it. Literally just a few months can change your entire life and the way you think and the way you work. This does not mean you have to go full monk mode. Do not get it twisted with that. You don't have to never say hi or hang out with your friends ever again. You can still do those things, but getting rid of other distractions that are not beneficial to your life, like video games, scrolling on your phone too much TV, all that stuff that doesn't really matter or bring value to your life. All that time and energy you're wasting can easily be used towards that side hustle that's going to turn into a big business one day. Because once you get that taste of how much you can actually make if you put in the work for like a week or 2 weeks or a month, just straight, focused, head down, working towards this goal, you will continue that for the rest of the year and even more years to come, because you know it's possible and you get addicted to the success and you just start to focus even harder and put in more work. And that's what's happened to me the past 6 months. That first few weeks that I just started completely just driving anywhere and buying every single phone possible, just going completely hard. Like I said, I had my best month ever over the past 4 years that I've been doing this. Coming back for the first 2 weeks that I did this, it was in July. I started halfway through July. That whole month I made $3,500 profit. And before that, for the first few years that I did this, my best month was like $3,200 profit. And the very next month in August came an $11,000 profit month. Those numbers were just absolutely absurd to me because I was making double or triple what I was making at my job that I was still working. But again, whatever you're doing, whatever side hustle you're doing, or if you're looking for a side hustle, this is the perfect one to start. Watch all my previous videos. I'll show you step by step how to do this, what to avoid, how to make as much money as I've been making. But even if it's a completely different side hustle, this is just a sign to tell you to go all in. Put in just 10% more effort today, tomorrow, and the next week you just put in 10% more effort. Just a few hours or a few extra minutes a day can make a huge difference because, like I said, it's a snowball effect. You get addicted to the success you see. You know that the outcomes are going to be better the more work you put in. One thing I recommend, if you play video games every night or on the weekends, just unplug it, even put it in your closet, just out of sight. Most of you probably don't even enjoy actually playing the video games. It makes you angry, but it's just a habit. As soon as you come home from work or school or a long day, the second you grab the controller, you know you're going to be glued to the chair and the TV for the next 2 hours. So just make it so you're not able to access those things because that's how you're going to break that habit. And that works for anything else. If you spend too much time watching TV, hide the remote or put it somewhere where you're not going to be able to easily access it. If you're aimlessly scrolling on TikTok, simply just remove the app from your home screen or put it on a different page. That made a huge difference for me because I found out that I was only clicking it because it was a habit of mine. I just so happened to click the bottom of my screen and TikTok would open and I would just start scrolling for hours. If you just move it to a different page, you're going to realize that, oh, the app's not there. I don't really need to go on it right now. You can do that for any app, any social media. And again, you don't have to completely ghost your friends and family. You can still see them and hang out with them, but you just don't have to be going crazy, especially if you're partying, because that takes up several hours of your night. And even the next morning when you're feeling kind of shitty, that takes up more hours of your weekend or the next day. And another important thing, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to just suddenly put in a few extra hours and the next day you're going to see extreme numbers coming in, like views or sales or something. This is going to take a few weeks, months, maybe even a year, but I promise all the hard work is going to be worth it. I'm definitely so glad that I decided to go all in on my side hustle because it's about to turn into a full business of mine. What I want you guys to do right now is go to the comments, tell me exactly what side hustle you're doing or what side hustle you're interested in getting into, and just tell me one thing that you're going to do that's going to bring in more success for you. Just one thing that you're going to work towards and give an extra 10% in, and then come back to this video in a month or a couple months. That goal is going to seem so small compared to what's actually going on because just writing something down and visualizing it is going to give yourself more accountability and more motivation to work towards it. The power of visualization and law of attraction is so real, and I promise you guys are going to see immense success if you actually stay dedicated and focused. So after you comment, close this video and start getting to work.